Welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. We are talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's being told that you're too much, that you're too sensitive, and how you can turn your sensitivity into your strength, into your superpower, and use it to help yourself, to help other people, and use it as your power. So, the inspiration from this episode comes from an experience I had a few days ago. I was at a Hanukkah party and there were little cousins running around, the sweet, sweet little girls. Oh my gosh, I was having so much fun playing with these little girls. And one of them, she's 5, and we're standing around the kitchen island lighting the Hanukkah candles, and I open the drawer to pull out and put something in the garbage, and it bonks her in the face. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad. She started crying, and luckily her dad was right there, and she was surrounded by people who have nothing but love for her, so we just, helped her feel better. I got her ice and we hugged and all of the things. But her dad said something that really stuck with me. He said, trying to make me feel okay about it, he said, "It's okay. She does this all the time. She's a big crier. She's really sensitive." And when I heard that, it just brought back all of these feelings and memories of there's a lot of anger that I have when I hear that comment, especially from somebody saying, "Oh, she's just really sensitive," and sort of a way to dismiss that person's feelings. And of course, yes, this girl is going to be okay. There was no blood. She was okay. She just had to cry it out. She wanted to be comforted and hugged, and nothing wrong with that. She's definitely okay. And she is sensitive. She does cry a lot. That's also true. So there's nothing wrong with that comment. And it's when it's used in a way to dismiss somebody's feelings, that's not cool. And then the other thing that happens with that comment is that it can get internalized by that person, by that little girl, and it can create this self-image and self-belief, this inner voice that says, "I am too sensitive, I am too much," and it's used by that inner critic, by that inner voice, as a flaw or a point or a reasoning for why you're not good enough. So I've always been sensitive. I've always been sensitive. I've always been emotionally attuned to other people. As a kindergartner, on the first day of school, I'm walking into school with my class, and one of the girls is crying and she misses her mom and she doesn't want to go to school and she's scared. And I immediately am next to her, holding her hand, telling her it's going to be okay. We're going to have fun, cheering her up, making her feel better. And if you have been that person your whole life, the person who is so emotionally attuned to everybody that you pick up on these little things and you start to worry, oh, is that person okay? Are they okay? You want to do something to make people feel better. This is for you. Because there's also a sort of a shadow side to that. Like, that is such a lovely sentiment, wanting to cheer people up and make them feel better. That's when it's your superpower, when it's your strength, when you use your sensitivity for good in that way. When it's the shadow side of that is when we start to worry ourselves or we start to internalize other people's stuff and emotions that we don't need to be worrying about. We don't need to be internalizing. If any of that resonates for you, I really want to encourage you and inspire you in today's episode to shift your perspective from what it means to be a sensitive person and from feeling out of control and like you can't get a handle on it, to feeling in control and confident in your abilities to take care of yourself so that you can show up in the world with a heart, with all of your sensitivities at your forefront without dimming your senses down. Now I exist in the world fully present. If you throw me into a situation with random people, I know I have my back. I know I have what it takes. If I need to take a break, I feel like I can speak up for myself. And it took practice, but I now know how to take care of myself to the point where I feel so confident in social situations that I don't need to walk around scared or plan ahead of what might happen and bring things that I might need, because I have found security in me. Later in this episode, I will share some of the tools and the actual things that I do to help support me in any situation I'm in, anytime, any place. You don't need anything other than your own mind, your own body, your own heart to take care of yourself and give you exactly what you're needing. So stay tuned for that. But first, I want to explain to you what happened to me when I was really focusing on protecting myself from other people's energy. Was that I actually was closing myself off from connecting to people, and I was closing myself off to my sensitivity. I was focusing on other people, if they were energy vampires, if they were going to drain me and whatever stuff was going on with them, I was focusing on them rather than focusing on me and taking responsibility for what I can do to release energy. Instead of putting up boundaries and putting up barriers between yourself and the world, I want to invite you to really start to practice letting energy go, and you can call it energetic hygiene, and taking care of yourself to the point where you are free to take on other people's energies and free to release them. It's just a flow in and a flow out. And so instead of focusing on the walls that you need to put up to protect yourself, I want you to just focus on, I got this. I know how to let the energy go because I have practiced this. So, first, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it looks like when you're focusing on the shadow side of the sensitivity, or just focusing on the negatives. What can go wrong with being a sensitive person, treating it as something that is wrong with you, as a problem, as an inconvenience to you and to the people around you. And then I'm going to talk about ways that you can start to level up your skills of how to treat your sensitivities and meet yourself there so that it doesn't become a thing that other people feel inconvenienced by, because you know how to handle yourself. And it doesn't become a thing that you feel inconvenienced by, that you wish you could change, because you have learned how to adapt, how to treat yourself, how to take care of yourself in a way that really supports you and supports you in using your sensitivity for good, for connecting with others, for connecting with yourself. And that's the goal here, is that I want you to feel free from any of the stories that tell you that you're too sensitive, that you can't do what other people do because you'll get drained too fast. I want you to feel free to enjoy your life to the fullest. And I want you to feel confident that you know how to handle yourself in any situation that life throws at you, no matter how anxiety producing it may seem right now to be in that situation. So, sensitivity is absolutely your superpower. When you can connect with people on a felt sense, on an emotional level, you're in their emotional body. Like being an empath, what, or highly sensitive person, or whatever you want to call it, is super cool, such a strength, and we all have that ability. We exist on a spectrum of sensitivity. Some of us have learned how to shut it off easier than other people. Some of us have learned how to detach emotionally from situations more easily. Some of us have learned patterns of numbing and detaching from emotions, right? And some of us have not learned those strategies, or we have a really hard time with shutting it off because it's just an innate part of who we are. I want to inspire you to remember that there are tools that you have to meet yourself, to support yourself in your sensitivity, and not to shut yourself off, not to shut down your emotions, not to numb yourself or stop being as sensitive as you are, but to embrace it and to have an extra layer of support and strength behind it. So you're not just sensitive out in the world and vulnerable and scared all the time. You're sensitive out in the world and strong. You're sensitive out in the world and it's your connection to people and to yourself. And it's your innate gift and your knowing that that is something that brings value to the world, to the people around you. And so instead of shutting it off, you want to just learn how to support yourself in bringing that gift to people. It's like how performers have a whole team of massage therapists and they have their routine of recovery after their show. They get in the bath. I'm thinking of Taylor Swift, of course. They get in the bath and they de-stress and they have their toe spacers and they do all of the things to recover their body, and athletes too, from the intense performance that they just did. You want to think of yourself in the same way. You are out in the world sprinkling your sunshine all over. And in order to make that sustainable, you need to take such good care of yourself. Such good care of yourself, because there are going to be moments when you feel drained, when you feel tired, when you feel annoyed. And so we learn how to take exceptional care of ourselves so that we can keep going, so that we can get stronger and faster and better and all of the things that we want to be. Okay. So when sensitivity is supported, it is a strength. When sensitivity is not supported, it becomes an inconvenience. And this is how it's treated all the time in classrooms, in families, in friendships. It's treated as an inconvenience and as a problem. And I want you to shift your belief out of seeing your sensitivity as a problem, as an inconvenience, and seeing it as your strength. And in order to do that, we need to learn how to take care of ourselves, because how we treat ourselves is going to become the new standard of how we are treated by other people. And so if we're accepting other people treating us as a problem, as an inconvenience, and we're taking on that self-belief, we need to first let that go, see that as false, as somebody else's opinion and perspective, and it's not true, and create a different belief about ourselves, that our sensitivities are strength, that we're going to take really good care of ourselves so that we can use that strength for good. And in order to do that, again, it comes down to how we see ourselves and how we take good care of ourselves. So I want to ask you to reflect on what you do right now in your life to take really good care of yourself. What's your self-care routine, your self-love routine, your self-pleasure routine? How do you incorporate your sensitivity into your self-care routine? I love my senses. I love to smell really good smells. I love to eat really good tasting food. I love to pet my soft cats and to be surrounded by soft things. I love putting on a bathrobe after I take a warm bath. I love to feel moisturized. Like all of these things are important to me. And this is how I start to use my sensitivity to support myself. I know that I am sensitive. So I know that if I play to my senses, I will feel good. If I surround myself by things that my senses enjoy, like beautiful things to look at and good smells to smell, essential oils, that I will be living a more enjoyable life. So, surrounding yourself by things that your senses can enjoy and indulge in is wonderful. So, there's nothing wrong with other people noticing your sensitivity, and there's nothing wrong with you owning your sensitivity. You have permission to own it. It's something that makes you you, it's something that makes you beautiful, it's something that it's part of your gifts that you have to offer the world. And like I said, it's how you can bring value to those around you because you're tapped in and connected on a very sense based, felt sense level. And that's a beautiful thing. And when you have this idea of yourself that actually doesn't match the real beauty and the gift that your sensitivity is, that's where the problem is, right? It's not about your sensitivity, it's about what you're making it mean about you. So if you are making your sensitivity a problem for you or a problem for other people, or if your sensitivity is a reason why you're not as far ahead in life as you want to be, that's an excuse. That's not a reason, right? There are tools, there are ways that you can learn to support yourself in your sensitivity and use it to get where you want to go in life. And if you're somebody who has made your sensitivity mean that you're misunderstood, that people don't get you, that you don't deserve XYZ, or you don't belong, or you need to change that about yourself, I want you to know that that is absolutely not true. I really want you to get that your sensitivity is your strength. That when you show up as your fully embodied, sensual, sensitive self, people are magnetized to you because we all want to be seen and felt and heard. And when you're somebody who naturally has the skill and ability to do that, people can notice. And that's why you get people around you all the time telling you their life story and dumping their energy on you because they can feel that you have the space in you to hold that. So it becomes about remembering those two things that I said, that you have the choice, that you have the power to say no or choose in to somebody sharing with you and you sharing with somebody. And it becomes about you supporting yourself to do that work and supporting yourself in a way that takes full responsibility for who you are. Supporting yourself means you meet your own standards first and you set them as the standard for how other people can treat you in your life. It is up to you to give yourself what you need so that you can do what you need to do, what you want to do. And sometimes, yes, it is easier said than done. Sometimes it is easier said than done. And that's the work. That's the work that is invaluable. That's the work that you do, the skills that you learn that are invaluable, that support you to show up in the world. That's what we need from you. So keep being your sweet, sweet, sensitive self. Keep being your sweet, strong, sensitive self. Recognize your sensitivity as your superpower. And to anyone who tells you you're too sensitive compared to what? Compared to somebody who numbs their emotions? Compared to somebody who can't emotionally connect to others? Right? I want you to see your sensitivity as your power. And like Spider-Man, that Spider-Man quote, with power comes responsibility. It is your responsibility to take care of yourself so that you can use your power. So if you want freedom from feeling like you're too sensitive in this world, you're going to need to take responsibility for your sensitivities, for yourself. That will lead you to feeling the freedom that you want to feel. Nobody is going to free you but you. It is nobody else's responsibility to make you feel better. And it's a bit of a harsh truth, but really what it is a beautiful opportunity, because only you have that power to make yourself feel better. So even if somebody does something to you that hurts you, you always have it in you to make yourself feel better. And when you can just start viewing responsibility in that way, as freedom, as power, it makes taking responsibility so much more fun because you know that it's leading you to your freedom. So, how did I actually go from having such strong boundaries that my heart was completely closed off to being able to exist in the world and connect to people and brush things off like it's no problem because I know it's none of my business what somebody thinks about me? How did I actually get there? I started seeing my sensitivity as my superpower. I started actually leaning into it instead of pushing it away and trying to make myself a safe little bubble. I started viewing my role, my responsibility to myself as figuring out how to still be able to show up in the world, even when I feel scared, when I feel vulnerable, when I feel too sensitive. How can I still exist in the world? Because the world's not changing unless I change my world. One thing that shifted a lot for me is learning how to let go of other people's stuff that's not mine to hold on to. So, one of the ways that I do this throughout my day, and especially when I'm socializing or something that somebody says gets under my skin, or when I'm in a class and somebody says something that I don't agree with, or whatever it may be, when I'm feeling triggered, when I feel like I'm absorbed somebody's energy, or maybe it's that I had a conversation with somebody and it was really emotionally intense and I'm just feeling a lot about it. First of all, I want to share what one of my favorite teachers online says. She says, listening to somebody else's suffering is the easiest thing you can do. Witnessing somebody else's pain is the easiest thing you can do. And this is for all my people who are in a role. Maybe you're a therapist, maybe you just find yourself in this role in your life of emotionally supporting people around you. And if you find yourself getting drained by that role, I want you to really soak this in. Listening to other people's suffering is the easiest thing you can do. Why? Because it's not your pain. And when you start to feel and identify with somebody else's pain, you're making it about you. And it's not yours. It's not about you. So really recognize that when you're making somebody else's story about you. That's the first thing. That piece of advice right there, that little quote, nugget, whatever you want to call it, gave me permission to stop caring so much so that I am taking it on and causing myself to be drained. I still care. I care deeply about other people, and I care about people and their pain and feeling better, but I'm not here to sulk and wallow in somebody else's pain with them. That's not helpful for anybody. So when somebody is sharing their deepest pain with me, I no longer feel it to the point where I'm personally impacted by it. I have this degree of separation where I see myself as a supporter, but I'm not holding their pain as if it were my pain and experiencing it in my body as if it were mine. That's my energetic boundary that I have with people and their pain. I empathize, but that's different than taking it on. And anytime you feel like you are taking on somebody's pain, know that you're actually feeling your own pain. So that's one thing that really shifted it for me. And now I want to talk about specific techniques that I use throughout the day when I feel like I need to clear my energy. So I've come to accept, and you should too, come to accept that as you go about your day, as you live and exist in this world, you will pick up on other people's energies. I used to see that as something that was horrible and scary and bad. And I used to put up boundaries to try and protect me from picking up other people's energies. And it's not bad to pick up on other people's energies. It's part of being a human, it's part of being a sensitive person, and it's part of what makes life really beautiful. When you can lean into picking up people's energies, you get to share in their joy as much as you get to share in their pain. So let's just neutralize what it means to pick up on other people's energies. If that's something that sounds really scary to you right now, I want you to just work on neutralizing that. And when I say neutralize it, I mean make it mean nothing. If you pick up on somebody's energies, it is not good, it is not bad, it is what it is, it happens. Now, what do you do about it? Okay, so you're walking around, you had a conversation with somebody, they dumped something onto you, and now you're just feeling like off. Maybe you're feeling upset and you weren't before. Maybe you're feeling sad and you weren't before. Maybe you're just feeling drained. What do you do now? Because now that feeling is yours now, and it's yours to do something with it. It's yours to let go of. It's not the other person, it's about you now. And this is now about you taking care of you, not about cutting yourself off, protecting yourself. It's about you taking care of you. So, what do you do with it now? What I like to do, and I'll share this with you, and you take what resonates and leave what doesn't. You can adapt this as much as you want. You can change it. You can use it as inspiration. You can do it word for word, whatever you want. You can also ignore my advice completely. This is what I do, and I will do some sort of variation on this. When I pick up on somebody's energy, I first of all remove myself. I go somewhere where I can be alone, where I can be with just myself. And oftentimes I'll do this once I get home or out in nature, or I'll do it if I'm in a pinch in a social situation. I'll excuse myself to the bathroom and I'll do this in there. I close my eyes. I will pay attention, tune inwards to my body, to my energetic body, to my physical body, and just start noticing sensations as they arise and acting on them, my impulses. If I feel like, a lot of times I'll feel like, and I'm doing it now, like I need to shake, I'll flick out my arms, flick out my wrists, shake out my wrists, shake out my shoulders up and down, move my hips, do a little twerk. That's great for releasing. I'll also move my head from side to side, my neck. A lot of times stuff gets stuck right at the base of my head, the base of my skull and my neck. So I shake out my neck, shake out my spine, move, 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 dance, 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 move, 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 breathe. It looks weird. It might feel weird, but it also is going to feel really good because this is what your body needs. In the wild, when animals have an encounter with a predator or something scary happens, they shake instinctively to reset their nervous system. We, as humans, are animals, and we need to do the same thing, girl. We need to shake it out. What's that Florence and the Machine song? Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Right? We need to do the same thing. Okay, so I excuse myself, I move, I shake it out. Sometimes I'll lay on the floor. If I'm home, I'll lay on the floor and move my head from side to side. That feels so good to me. It gives the back of my head a little massage from the floor. Okay, so movement, and then I'll have some stillness afterwards. Take some breaths into stillness. Usually that movement will make me feel already better, already back to myself. But next I will do some variation of visualization and energy work on myself. So I will see my chakra system. I'll see my feet, the outline, the shape of my body, my aura as well. And I will just repeat, I now release all energies that are blocking my chakras and that are blocking my aura. You can replace that phrase with whatever works for you. I now release the energy that I picked up from blank person. I now release all energies that do not serve me. I now release whatever needs to be released for me at this moment. You can leave it up to God. That works too. But be specific as you can. That will help. And then you take in 3 breaths, repeating that mantra to yourself in your head. And on the exhale, see that energy go. Watch it release, watch it release. After the 3rd breath, I want you to check in and ask if that released everything that it needs to. You might need to do this more than once. Sometimes you might need to do it 3 times. Do it as many times as you need to be sure that that energy is gone. And know that this may be subtle. This may also be placebo. And what I want to say to you about that is that if it works, it works. If it makes you feel better and feel back to yourself, do it. Even if you don't believe in energy, in chakras, in auras, if saying something and deciding that you are now releasing the energies that no longer serve you helps you feel back to yourself, why not do that? If you find yourself maybe hours after this, or maybe days later, still thinking about that person or about something, or still holding on to something that you want to let go, do it again in that moment. Have boundaries with yourself around what you let enter your mind, what you let enter your field, and know that you can choose what you focus on. You do not need to let the thought of somebody come into your mind, ruin your day. You do not need to let it ruin your hour, ruin your evening at all. When you learn to neutralize life, everything that gets thrown your way, by stepping into your ownership, your responsibility, your power and choice to decide what you let impact you, you will be unstoppable. And you absolutely have that power. You get to decide what impacts you. As sensitive as you may feel, as vulnerable or susceptible as you may feel to other people's energy, you still have the power to decide what impacts you and what you let upset you and get to you. Know that you have the power to hold on, and it's your choice when you do that. It's a choice you make. And know that just as equally, you have the power to release and let it go. So I just wanted to give you a little bit more of a substantial, tangible, tactical thing that you can do, that you can play around with and experiment with when you are out in the world, noticing other people, noticing yourself and your sensitivities, because I want you to feel confident and capable of being your fully sensitive self out in the world without closing your heart off, without changing who you are, because you know how to take care of yourself if/when you do pick up on other people's energies. There's no need to limit yourself, to use being a sensitive person as an excuse for not engaging in the world. If you genuinely want to engage in the world, I want you to feel comfortable and confident doing so, even if you are more sensitive and you need a little extra tender, loving care to support yourself in being out in the world. Thank you. I love you. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. To all my sensitive babes, I love you so much. And I really hope that I just want you to feel excited and confident. I want you to feel really like you can be in the world without putting up boundaries, without closing off your heart, and just fully engage in the world to the level that you want to. And the world has so much need for you to be fully here, fully present, embodied, talking to the people you need to talk to. And yes, having boundaries when you need to have boundaries. Some people really need to hear, now's not the time for us to be having this conversation. We're at a party and I don't want to talk about how this XYZ horrible thing happened in your childhood. I'm laughing because I sound like I have an attitude about it, and I kind of do. Sometimes you get to have an attitude about it. And knowing who you are, knowing who my audience is, I know that you have a kind heart. And so sometimes it can be hard to figure out how to say no to somebody in a way that still feels kind and loving. And so just know that you don't need to worry about being mean or rude to people. If you are so worried about how to set a boundary in a way that doesn't hurt somebody else's feelings, the chances of you saying it in a way that does hurt somebody's feelings is really low, because you're out here already centering their feelings. So I want to give you permission, if you need somebody's permission, which you don't, but I will, if you need it, give you permission to set those boundaries in the moment as they come up. I don't want you to be walking around with boundaries all around you so rigid that you don't let anything in. I want you to feel confident that you can set boundaries in the moment as you need to. And the more you practice speaking up for yourself, advocating, the more comfortable it will get. But you got to start somewhere, and it's going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning. And I know if you're anything like me, I really needed language to support me. Like, I always found it really helpful when somebody modeled what it might sound like or how they would say something. And then I could practice by using whatever they would say. And that was really helpful for me to figure it out. So I'll give you some options that you can use and examples. So say you're having a conversation with somebody and they start taking it in a direction that you don't want to talk about it for whatever reason. You can simply say, I don't want to talk about that right now. Let's talk about da 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 da. Fill in the blank. If you are in a conversation that you don't want to be in at all, you can say, I'm going to use the restroom. I'm going to excuse myself. It was so nice to talk to you. I hope you enjoy your day. I do that all the time because people come up and talk to me all the time, and I love it. I absolutely love talking to people. And sometimes I will just stand there and talk and listen for however long. But sometimes I have things to do, somewhere to be, places to go. So I will just say in a very direct and kind way, it was so nice to talk to you. I have to go, but I hope you have a great day. Very simple, very clean, very direct. No getting around that. But I really want to inspire you to recognize that you have the choice. Always, 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 you have the choice. Sometimes there might be consequences to your choice. Sometimes choosing to honor yourself and your needs means that other people are going to be annoyed at you. If you're in a group, for example, and you need to take more time than other people to get ready in the morning, and this is just what you need to do in the morning to feel good and ready for your day, know that you can still do that. You don't need to feel rushed. Maybe you wake up a little earlier so that you can all still leave together. Or maybe you meet people there and just know that they might have something to say about it. And also just know that that is okay. It is far more important for you to feel good with yourself than for people to like you. In this episode, we talked about sensitivity, being told you're too sensitive, seeing your sensitivity as your superpower, as your strength, learning how to support yourself in bringing that power and that value to the world. I hope that you got something out of this episode. I hope that if you are somebody who has been told you're too sensitive, that you learn how to embrace it. I hope that you embrace it. It's so fun to live life in a deeply sensitive way where you can experience the deep joy that comes with all of life's experiences, that you can experience the pleasure through your senses, that you can also experience the deep pain that comes with that. And to be somebody who can hold both and all, that full spectrum of experience, is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. It is so beautiful. And so I want you to talk back to that voice that tells you that you're too sensitive. And if it's a person in your life that tells you that, just know that anytime somebody is judging you, they're secretly jealous or insecure. All right, you guys, I am going to head out. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that, again, you got something out of this. If you did, feel free to send this episode to somebody, share it with your friends, your family, share it with that person who doesn't get it. Share it with that person who says you're too sensitive and you want to tell them, I'm not. It's my superpower. You wish you had this. Okay, you guys. I will see you next time. Sending you love.